All right, boys, bring it in.
Coach, what do you got for us?
I got to move Prusty out of the way, I guess. Um,
Prust is going to represent the goalie. Prust is the goalie.
I don't know.
Look at Prust sitting there. What is he
Look,
doing?
I'm gonna look. I can move the rocking chair to. So anyway, we're watching last night's game. I've often talked about it. We have discussed on the podcast how to play with a lead. They had a 6-3 lead. The first mistake that I saw was Zibanejad coming across the blue line. Instead of getting the puck to the net or behind the net, he did a pass laterally towards the blue line, a little more than lateral. It got intercepted. The Sharks came down and scored, made it 6-4, took a lot of momentum away. And not long after that, the momentum carried it to another goal. So those little things, not only scoring even strength, but protecting a lead even strength, to me is more important that a veteran player needs to make, and they're going to have to learn from that. I think
Didn't
the
you have an
second
issue
goal,
with Keandre? Keandre on
yeah,
that play.
Keandre misplayed the guy behind the net. The guy deked this way. He didn't even get a body on him or a knee between the legs or anything. The guy went that way, he went that way, and then he went this way, made a pass, and they tied. They got the fifth goal. So
That was
to
the
me,
the fifth goal, right.
the fifth goal. To me, I'm watching him, and he's doing that often. He's doing a lot where Trouba has the guy on this side of the ice, and he's coming over and leaving a guy alone here. I see it happen multiple times a game. Why Trouba's not getting beat? He's just shading over to that area, and it's going to hurt them a lot when you're playing teams like Toronto, Tampa. The higher scoring teams. So puck management, like we've talked about many times, is going to be the key, especially when there's no reason why that game shouldn't have ended 6-3. And like Laviolette said in the post game, if it was 6-3, you wouldn't be asking me these questions. I'm sure he's going to address it because to me, it was noticeable. I'm sure they notice it. The other thing I wanted to talk about referring to puck management is Valiquette went over it between periods. One of the things that drives me crazy about Keandre, and Schneider actually does it a lot too, they get the puck at the point, they walk it, they set up, and they hit the guy right in the shin guards. It happens so often. I mean, at our college level, our low-level college level, it happens all the time. But these are pros. So what Valiquette was saying is as that defenseman walking the line, you have a 6-foot area here is the net, and then the trapezoid runs here. He says it's another 6 feet on each side. So the defenseman target should be 18 feet. If he doesn't have the shot at the net because the lane is closed, he should be taking one more step and getting it wide to back off the wall or keeping it behind the net. Keeping it behind the net.
Well, that's what Fox did on Kreider's goal the other night too. Kreider, I don't know if you saw, they showed the behind the net view on the power play, and you see Kreider take one more, keep taking steps out to give Fox the target.
Yeah,
and it was kind of like that 3-foot span that you're talking about on the side of the net there.
6. So, yeah, he said it's 6, 6, and 6. He said 18 feet is their target.
Oh, 6 feet on each side. I thought you meant 3 and 3 for a total of 6.
No, the trapezoid, he said the line is 6 feet. So in other words, it gets to that area, the goalie can't play it. So that's your target.
That seems, it's big.
If there's a lot of guys, there's a lot of traffic in front, you aim for it. You take one more step, you go wide. If you're coming this way, if you have nothing to shoot at, you take one more step and you go here.
Yeah, and it's interesting. When he pointed that out, I never really thought about that. But I remember when I used to play D, I played in juniors, and the coach would always tell me to stop trying to wind up and take slap shots because it's just your instinct when you're a young defenseman. You're like, oh, I got to take a booming slap shot from the point. But they were just saying, like, shoot for the post. Don't even try to score. Just, like, shoot for the post. So now they're saying shoot for the trapezoid. I feel like that's the same concept, but it's probably just expanded to a bigger space because you have like Trocheck and Kreider. They play like on the inside of the circle, looking for a deflection,
Right.
and
They
not in
play
front of
this
the net.
area. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so you can hit a stick and then it goes in. You see it all the time. Trocheck scored like that recently, right? In one of the games.
Yep. He scored from the bumper. Just a shot from, I think it was Fox took it.
Fox
on
is
the
great at
deflection.
getting those pucks through. He's
Yeah.
great. He does it well. They need to learn from him.
No,
Yeah,
but it's just
that was
something as a puck possession game with a 6-3 lead. Again, we always say we don't need any more goals. We can win 6-3 is fine. Make the play where it's going to be positive in their zone, not deflected, not hitting a shin guard going this way, and now you're defending, chasing. Everybody's got to leave the zone. It becomes a race the other way. You play the Devils like that, you're going to be in trouble. Teams like that with that speed, you're going to be in a lot of trouble if you don't
So what do
play
you
that
do?
puck possession.
What do you do? You're a defenseman. You're carrying the puck to the middle of the ice there, and you just don't see a lane. You don't feel comfortable with the lane. You keep. What do you do? Keep going to the boards, dump it in, just wrap it back
Well,
for more.
you don't keep going all the way because your partner's over here. Say you're walking the line this way, your partner's here. If you can't make that pass, then you keep going and you dump it in that corner, and then you have
just
Kreider
let the
puck
forward.
retrieval. Yeah, you have puck retrieval, efforts.
Yep.
But there's a 50-50 battle here. Off the shin guard, there's no 50-50 battle. Now you got to chase.
Yeah, you got to make a safe play, is what you're saying.
Right. Game situation, depending on the situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
They should have never let that team. That team didn't give up. I give them a lot of credit, but that team should have never got back within a goal. Shouldn't have even been close.
No. No, they got to develop. Well, in fairness to the Rangers, I don't make excuses, but they've had a difficult schedule as far as timing. It's tough. Back to back.
Everybody goes through that, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's a little bit situational. I mean, that's a trap game. They easily could have lost that game, and they got the 2 points. So I think, like you said earlier, you burn the tape on the bad parts, but you're right. Maybe Laviolette doesn't burn the tape. Maybe he points this stuff out to and says, "Hey, if you want to take that next step, this is what we got to do." A good example.
I'm sure he's not going to dwell on it, but I'm sure it's going to be addressed.
Yeah.
Obviously they got the 2 points. Any 2 points in the NHL during the season is great. Any team they playing. And
how do you balance that as a coach? Like the Rangers are 18-4-1, right? So like, how does Laviolette balance? Like, I need to correct the team, but also like the team is probably riding high, right? Because they're 18-4-1, so you don't want to kill the vibe and be like too critical when you're 18-4-1. Like, there's got to be a difficult balance there to strike.
It is hard. That's part of the job as a head coach, is to figure that out, how he's going to do it. I try to take a couple of plays on the side individually. If like when we had one player make a mistake like that, let the team back in the game. I said, think of the game situation, think of what you could have did, and let's learn for next time. Where you don't want to, make a big deal about it because, like you said, they're on a big positive high. But you want to let him just think about it, watch the video, see what he did. Or, and at certain points, if the whole team's playing like that, then you got to say to the whole team, look what we did here. This is stupid. We got to learn from this.
Yeah.
So
there's multiple ways. Who do I pull aside?
Yeah, right now. Who are you pulling aside?
Who am I pulling aside? I'm gonna say Keandre.
Yeah. Little Ed, you too?
Defensively, for sure, yeah. And before we move away from the corner, I just wanted to give a quick shout out. Coach Ed does know what he's talking about with puck management because the Seawolves beat Farmingdale Friday night 2-0. And we were able to hold them off in the third period due to Coach Ed's puck management coaching. So just wanted to give him some kudos for that.
Well, you got to have the players buy in, and the players
100%.
bought in. I was amazed myself that they did it. And it was, a lot of times because a lot of times in a game like that, they're going for a goal. They're going for a goal. They're going for a goal because that's always your motivation in the game is to score. And that, the Rangers had 6, so they're going, let's get one more. Zibish doesn't have to make that pass. If it's there, you make it. If it's not, you don't.
Yeah.
and they're at that level, they're skilled, they can do that decision.
Yeah.
So when you're coaching and your players do it, it's very enjoyable to see. Just like when you're teaching, I'm sure you go through with that teaching in law school. When you see the kids getting it, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, and then when you see them not giving any effort, you want to just rip your hair out of your head.
It's unbelievable.
Why don't you read the case?
Give
how many
and take.
times I have to? You know, how many times I say what happened in this case, and there's like it's like crickets in the room. I'm like, nobody even read. Like, I'm just gonna end class anyway. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing like that feeling when you get through to the kids. So that must have felt good. But I think puck management is one of those things that a fan of hockey who never was coached, never played hockey, never was taught hockey, just like watches the games, doesn't understand the significance of it. It's one of those just subtle, parts of the game. So
yeah,
it's good that you can explain it. So if there are any fans out there who just never played, but they enjoy watching, the team and trying to understand the game better, that you can explain it to them. But